So today we got the Ultimate Figure Collection Cell. I know I have two over here other than the regular one. There's a reason for that, but let's just dive into it. So right here, if you look at Cell, he's a little bit taller than the rest of the figurines from the Ultimate Collection. That's because I think they tried to go proportionate to his character, where he was a little taller than most of the other characters. And I also feel like to some extent his height is attributed to his top. I don't know if I should call these horns or not. They kind of give him like a devil look, but yeah, he is a little taller than the rest. So because of which he kind of stands up to around the same height as what the Ultimate Figure series was, the older collection which I had shown. In those, he stands a little closer to their height. But if you want to see proportionate wise, he stands proportionate to his own figurines from his own set. So diving into it, this figure was one that I really liked. It was really well built. I mean, I always liked the character of Cell as well. I think among the Dragon Ball Z villains, I would have ranked Majin Buu the first. Just the whole Buu arc, basically. All the Buu series villains the first. Then I would rank kind of the androids. No, androids would come last. I would say like Cell and maybe Frieza tie up around the same point. A little bit more Cell because Cell had more of a I don't know, like a classy feel to his character, the way he used to speak, the way he used to act, and also it kind of gave a little taste of all the flaws of all the characters that were there, all in one being, because Cell is basically just a combination of all the goods and bads of all of the other characters in the show. Like he has the abilities to rejuvenate and you know, what's it called? Basically regrow limbs or arms or anything, just like Piccolo does. Or he has got that Saiyan Saiyan cells in him that make him behave a lot like a Saiyan. Like, let's get the opponent to the full maximum power and then fight them, just like how Goku and Vegeta and most of the pure Saiyans behave. The pure Saiyans have that drive for the fight, that internal instinct of the Saiyans that they always want to keep fighting. So Cell was a good character for that, because he managed to get like all of those attributes and all of those features of the character all in one, and it allowed the opponents to really grow, because they knew the only way they would beat their opponent would be to learn to beat themselves. Now, getting into the figure itself, if you see, this figure has done a lot of detailing. If I was to just rate figures based on details, I would have to give this as number one compared to the rest of them. Despite like just generally by looks, I would have to say Boo is my favorite figure, but purely based on detail, I would have to go with Cell, because if you look closely at Cell, first I'll start at the top, because there's just a lot to go in. They have done the dual tone coloring, the inside with the darker and the top on the outside they put the green. The face is really done well. They've gotten the eyes, the eye color is perfect. They got the lines in here, they got the full face structuring perfect. The ears are done really nicely. The body build is proportionate. The shoulders to the face to the body is proportionate, unlike a lot of figurines I've seen where sometimes the upper body is just like huge while the bottom body is a little small, because I think they use similar molds for most of their figures then, whereas this one's got a nice feel to it. One really nice detail is this: on the shoulder you can see these tiny ridges in there, and even the double color over here with the darker purple on the outside with the lighter purple on the inside, and here, if you see inside the figures here, you get to see the lines in here as well, the coloring done well. And then over here, this coloring as well is done really nicely. It's given the same color as the outside and not towards the inside flesh. The body armor is really cut nice here with the perfect thin lines of paint there, and this structure is really nice here. They got the nice internal lines for the joints on his waist. They got the coloring here done well. They got the kneecaps, and the best part about the kneecaps is this bottom half is done so well. They got the perfect muscle cut on it, and the smoothened half on the bottom that actually makes it feel like the exoskeleton which he had. And over here is still the other half of the legs, and that connects to the feet, which is done super nicely. And the feet itself has got like tiny ridges showing it's part of his body. It's really well done. It almost actually looks Exactly like the cell from the show. If you see, he's got the perfect exoskeleton look, the whole perfect form on him. I mean, they call him perfect cell for a reason, right? The fists are really done well, everything's done well, and these, moving to the back of it, they got these wings that are really nicely done. The way they used to go up like that, it's bendable PVC, it doesn't break, so it can actually give you that real feel of how the figurine is. And the back of the head also has gotten really nice. The white coloring here, they've done accurate to detail. The back plate over here, and to get to one of the biggest highlights, is that they managed to put the tail in accurately. Most figures would lose that detail, whatever is under, because a lot of action figures, like movable action figures, they tend to lose detail under what's going on in there, just because they know that it won't be seen. But this is done really well. You can see inside they haven't lost any detail. The tail is drawn perfectly. You know how the front half of his bottom plate comes all the way up. His waist also is really connected to the back. It's got the same ridges inside. Everything's done super nicely on this figurine, and I have to give them credit where it's due. This figure is one of the most detailed figures I have seen for like an action figure. Like, you get to see such kind of detail mainly on like prize figures or collectible figures, you know, the statue style ones, because they don't move, so less moving parts, and it's more like a sculpture then, whereas this one is different. This one is a fully movable action figure, and it is so well detailed. I have to give them the win for this one. This is amazing detail, unbelievable detail on this kind of a, I know I'm saying detail a lot, but it is just, it needs to be emphasized. It's done really well. Moving to why I have two over here. So there is, with the detail comes one flaw in this figurine. Just like most of the Ultimate collection series of the figurines, their joints are made out of plastic, unlike the Ultimate Figure series where it's made out of metal. These plastic joints are nice, they give you a nice movement to it, but it's not built for proper usage. Like, let's just say, like, over time it just kind of tends to start to break. Like, so the first figurine which I bought, it was perfect. It was really good. And then I bought a second one accidentally. And when I bought the second one, I realized that it had a small problem. Oh wait, it was the first one I bought and it had the problem, and then I had to buy the second one. The joint over here, if you see, broke, leaving this leg kind of like breaking here. And so I got the second one right after this. So the second one which I bought, I thought like, hey, you know what, this is gonna be perfect. And it was fine, it did not break. It was showing signs of that joint breaking again. It's always the knee joints on the cell figurine, just keep that in mind if you guys are planning to get one of these or anything. But the knee joint on that one was a little weak too. Yeah, so I gave off that figurine to someone, and later on, after this completely broke, then the kneecap over here completely broke, I had to get a new one just because that was just too like fragile to ever be moved around. So I kept this one as a statue, and I started using this for playing when I was a kid. So this one, if you see, the joints are not doing so bad. There is like some signs of like it indenting in there and possibly breaking in the future. You can feel the side movement on it like a little bit. It's not always going to be ideal, and obviously the head joints on most of my other figurines have broken. This one, luckily, the head joint hasn't broken, touch wood. But I have to say, the Ultimate Collection series has got a huge problem with the joints. If you guys are using it or buying it for a kid or for yourself, if you're like planning to do it for rough usage, like proper playing and stuff with it, I would not suggest being too rough with these. I would tell you to be a little bit more careful, because these joints are more delicate. Yes, to an extent, the other figurines' heads popped out because of time, because over time plastic does rot. This one particularly had a knee joint issue, for me at least. When I bought them itself, it had the issue. It's not like over time, because of wear and tear, it kind of ripped. So just keep that in mind as a possible flaw for the figurine. But at the same time, the more you know. So now that you know this, if you can be more careful with it and prevent you from damaging this. So it's really well detailed. I would say thumbs up for this. If I was to rate it, I would give it like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Just taking off the 1 or 1.5 points just because of the Ultimate Collection's skimpy usage of metal on the joints and rather using the plastic joints, which I mean, I kind of get, because if they use the metal joints, it would have not worked with PVC well, whereas the other Ultimate figure series usually had plastic, like a harder plastic, which they could use metal on. The PVC would not have this thing. The joint would have consistently slid out. So in order to stick it in there, they probably had to use the PVC joints itself. So looking further into the figurine, it's got a neck joint, it's got the shoulder joints just like the rest of the figurine. They could have put a waist joint in here, but they did not. They got the joints from here. They got the moving joints from the left and the right, so you can like turn the leg. It's got the knee joint, which I'm gonna try avoid moving around now because it's delicate. And yeah, the back PVC is a little bendable, so you can actually bend it and use it however you like. It will not break as such, unless you obviously bend it completely, but I don't think there's any issue of it breaking as such. So Bandai did a good job on this one. The best part, I would say, for this figurine, if anyone wants to know, like the highlight of the figurine, has to be the detail they put on the body. These tiny dots are just unbelievable. I mean, it is amazing how much effort they probably might have put into putting those dots in when in the first design. Like, I understand most of these are just mass produced, but on the first design itself, putting the dots in might have taken a lot of effort. I remember reading online somewhere that Akira Toriyama himself did not like drawing Cell too much, because Cell's whole problem was that the detail to draw all of these tiny dots on him took a lot of effort, and to maintain consistency in the design took him a lot of effort, and he did not like Cell because of that. So that's why if you see most of the villains that tend to come back or be reanimated in most of the show is usually Frieza, because Frieza is one of his favorite characters, and he didn't have to go through the pain of doing that kind of artwork again and again. But that's as far as what I've read online. But I've always thought Cell was really well designed. All three of his forms, the first form with the bug-like, the second form with the little humanoid look, and the third form like this. I almost was on the lookout for actually the Jack's 10th anniversary figure for the Imperfect Cell, the second form, but I never got lucky around to actually getting it, because the store I used to buy it from actually had gotten only few figures from the Ultimate from the Jack specific the figurines from the 10th anniversary. I will show you guys that one in a couple of videos later. I have I think Majin Buu, the Fat Buu, and I got Mr. Satan, and I had bought from Vegeta from Jack specific 10th anniversary figurine, but I lost the Vegeta. I still have Mr. Satan or Hercule Satan or Mr. Hercule, I don't know, depending on subs, dubs, whatever. Basically, he was, yeah, I have one of his figurines, including a really nice feature they added in there, which was his championship belt that could be removed. When I was a kid, I used to sometimes put it on Goku because I thought was always the true champion of this thing. Anyways, that's diverting off. Moving back, this figure set was amazing, and I tried to get the Imperfect Cell, could not get it. So, well, here's Perfect Cell. I hope you guys like this one. This one is a little longer than the rest of the reviews. If you guys made it all the way till here, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I tend to wander off sometimes, but I thought, well, it's fun to talk about Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. This one was more detailed than the rest. It took a little time. See you guys later. Peace out.